application. So starting off from the Fidelity Life Agents Resource page, you want to look for the online application section right here that I'll highlight for you. Click on the demo link. Okay, and then the demo credentials can be found here under right below the link. So I'm going to go ahead and log in here. Right, the nice thing about this demo account is you can play around with the different products and actually simulate the application, and as an agent, see what your customer is going to go through for the e-signature portion. So let's go ahead and jump right into it here. How to start an app. Click on the Rapid App icon here on the left. Select Create a New Application. You want to select the product. For this training video, we're going to use the Rapid Decision Express product here. Go ahead and select the state. Go ahead and let that continue on. Okay, so once the application is loaded, I'm going to walk through this, filling out this demo application here for you. Okay, so notice here on the top, you'll have the different sections, so the pre-qualification, questions, app details, payment. As you move through this e-app, what's nice about it is these sections will be checkmarked green as you move along. So if you should miss a question, it won't actually allow you to submit the application for signature unless all sections have been checkmarked green. So let's go ahead and fill this out here. I'm just going to put some basic information. Everything that's highlighted in yellow would be required. And as I'm filling this out, one of the nice things about the Rapid App system is you can do this with the customer while you are on the phone with them, which I would recommend as best practice. You definitely always want to make sure they're on the phone with you, and also by a computer, so that once you are done completing this application, you'll be able to email them the link, have them pull it up, and start the e-signature process. So again, pay attention and note the information that you will be needing as you go through this application here. Just to highlight, driver's license, social security number, you will need it in order to submit the application to Fidelity. Okay, date of birth, I'm just going to make one up here. Country, if they're a U.S. citizen, that question will pop up throughout the application, so you just want to make sure you're answering it correctly. Go ahead and put the phone number in here. Best time to call, day of the week to call, what time zone the client is in. Okay, if you fill out everything in correctly, you can hit next. It'll ask you for the client's place of birth. And then here are the knockout questions. So I would familiarize yourself with these knockout questions. I'm not going to go over each of them. Most of them you probably already asked the client before you decided that Fidelity is the right product. If you have not, I would just read this word for word and let the client answer. Do not coach them. Just read it and let them answer. So I'm just going to answer no here for the sake of this training. All right. Here's where it pops up again, the citizenship question. And is the proposed insured completing this application and paying the premium? You want to go hit yes. Okay, notice how I moved through the app and the first section was not checkmark green, so I must have missed a question. So you can always go back to it and make sure that, nope, right here you go. This is what I missed, is the email address. I'm going to enter my email address here. That's what's needed in order for me to electronically sign my policy. All right, so now it's checkmark green. So moving along on this application here, okay, this particular product does ask if the client has a primary care physician. So I'm going to go answer this yes, and yes, I have seen him in the last 5 years. Okay, and the doctor's name, just make something up here. What city, state, phone number is not needed. some additional information regarding that doctor visit. Is the position different, or the results or the reasons for the last visit? How were the results? And when was the last date? So again, just making up this information. So just to point out, you can go through this at your convenience. I would definitely test it out if you haven't submitted an application before online with Fidelity. It's a nice way to practice and kind of allow the phone call to go smooth when you have the client on the phone. So modify coverage, app details. This is where you're actually selecting the coverage. The effective date of the policy, the easiest way to explain it is when they want the policy to start. Fidelity allows the agent to push out the payment up to 2 weeks. So think of it as the effective date the first day that they actually want the first payment to be made. So in most situations, you will have the date to whatever the date is you start the application. So in this example, I'm going to leave it for the date of July 16th, 2014. I'm going to hit Get Quotes. Okay, this product goes up to $250,000, so I want to look at pricing for $250,000. These are the rate classes available, and then you can select which plan you want to see. I go ahead and calculate this right here for a 20-year term. Check the box. This is what I've talked with my client about, $54.16 a month. Okay. Once you move forward, it'll give you a summary of the coverage you have selected. Just double check and make sure that everything looks correct. Term, period, face amount, state, issue age, and also the premium. So if everything looks good, you can go to move on through the application. Next section, you want to add a beneficiary. Here are your options. I'm going to select a person. Split has to equal 100%, and this beneficiary will be the wife of the insured. Social Security is not needed. Once you add the beneficiary, you are able to move forward. Note you can add a contingent beneficiary. All right. Okay, some additional information on the application. Basically, they're asking if the client is replacing. Again, answer whatever applies. No name changes. The owner is the same as the insured. You can add a mailing address if they want a P.O. box. This is the section you would do it. Same for a secondary addressee. And then any additional information you think would help the underwriter when they look at this case. Okay, so I'm just answering everything no here. Payment details. So we are almost done with the electronic application. Payment options are as follows. I'm going to select monthly. Your payment options are credit card, debit card, or EFT. We're going to select EFT. Let's just say it's Chase Bank. You want to put in the applicable bank information. I'm just going to zero it out for the sake of this example. And the name of the client as it appears with their bank. So John Test. And then most agents miss this section here, so you just want to make sure you check what applies. So check if the payer is the same as the insured. If the payer is other than the insured, there will be a separate requirement needed after the policy has been signed. So to keep the cases moving smoothly, I would just make sure that the payer is the same as the insured. And then the effective date is July 16th, 2014. So I'm going to save this info. And then notice again how the sections are checkmarked green. So we're moving along. And we are just about almost done with this application. This is for you, the agent, to fill out agent declaration. Does any proposed insured have existing life insurance? No. To the best of your knowledge, will the coverage for replace any life or annuity coverage now in force on the life of any proposed insured? You answered that no. Just want to check the box that you accept it. Okay, and at this point of the call, of your sales call, I would direct the client to go ahead and hop onto their computer and pull up their email address. So you can create the passcode for the client. I'm going to create the code here as ABC123, ABC123, okay? Now you can ask the client what they would rather have, whether they would have something you created themselves, or you can create it on your end, which I just did, ABC123. So you want to select Generate e-signature documents right here. What this does is it's preparing the packet to be sent for signature. Okay, and as these documents are loading, it's a good time to make conversation with your client, kind of let them know how long it's going to take for the application process. It could take 24 to 48 hours before an approval is made, and that you'll be able to view the status online on your end as the agent to see what underwriting decision has been made, and that you'll let the client know. So here are the forms that have been generated: signature notice, application form, HIPAA form, and notices form. The client will basically acknowledge and sign these forms once they receive the signature link. So next steps from here here are your options. You can send an automatic email, create a custom email, or show details. Show details means you're just going to provide the user ID and passcode to the client for them to sign. So the easiest method and option that I would select would be the send automatic email. All right, the email address should be here listed. If you didn't get that from the client, I'd go ahead and obtain that at this point. Go ahead and hit send email. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up my email, because this is, I had it sent to my personal inbox here. So I'm going to pull that up here and show you guys what your customer is going to see on their end. Okay. All right, so here is the email that's going to come through on your client's end. It's going to say, dear client, case reference number, and then there's going to be a link. So what you want to do is just say, okay, John, go ahead and click on the link. So now I'm acting as the client, right? The user ID is going to already pre-populate, and so you just want to provide your client the passcode that you created, which was, in this example, ABC123. And then I'm going to go ahead and hit login. Oh, try again real quick here. All right. It is case sensitive. So now your client will be able to sign the policy via DocuSign. So just have them review the documents, and then once they hit this little box on the top left, they can continue. Okay. So what they're going to do is basically review the documents and click on the section where they need to sign. They can either initial it or sign it. They can use what's pre-populated already, or decide if they want to draw it on their end. Okay, so you want to adopt and sign, whichever method they want, and then they're just going through the application. Okay, have them review, make sure that the questions are answered correctly, that the personal info, bank info, all of that is accurate, and then they're just going to go ahead and acknowledge, sign, and then the last part here is their signature. Okay, and then once they're gone through that, this little message will pop up and it'll ask them to finish. Once they hit finish, the message that they're going to see on their end is going to be this, and then I'm going to go back to the agent screen right here and pay close attention to what happens with these exclamation points, as you can see right here. This is how you know that the client signed their application correctly. So we'll just go ahead and wait a few seconds for it to pop up. Okay, there you go. So as you can see, it went from exclamation point to check mark. So what this means is that the customer signed their policy, and right now it's generating a policy number. So once the policy number is generated, feel free to give that to your customer, have them write it down, and then you'll get a note here that says e-signature is complete. So from this, you can hit next. Here's the policy number that I'll highlight for you right here. You'll get the message, the application has been submitted to new business. Again, just remind them in 24 to 48 hours, Fidelity should have an approval for them. At this point, Fidelity will check the back office reports, and you can also, in 24 hours, come in and view pending business. So nothing's going to show up right now because it does take about 24 hours for the status updates to appear. Otherwise, once you're all done, you can hit save and exit, and it'll bring you back to your work queue. So that completes the Rapid App System demo, and feel free again to access it here from the Agent Resource page. This is where you can locate it and practice a few apps before you go live with the customer. Thank you.